So when it comes to brand new communities, from my perspective, it's all about infrastructure, because most of the new communities are more in the B and C locations. So for those, for sure, they don't have any sea view. So what the community can do itself is they can have enough space for amenities. So first, I would say it's the infrastructure. So there must be enough entries. So there are different ways to enter the community and also to exit the community into different highways to go into different directions easily. So that is the first point. Second point would be spaces for amenities and commercial plots, because I've seen in some other communities that they build a lot of townhouses very close to each other, but at the end it takes a little bit of life quality because your proximity to the next supermarket and to the next restaurant will be a little bit longer. So first one is infrastructure and general accessibility. Second one is the internal community and how smart it is built.
Some communities getting built in between downtown and the northern port, like Port Rashid and stuff. Why is it often more profitable to buy in these bridge communities rather than the already finished ones?
So we need to see Dubai is evolving like the whole world is. So when it comes to the brand new community, they are smarter than the old communities. So for example, when we see downtown and Dubai Marina, which are the older communities of Emaar, and the new communities, for example, Dubai Hills and Dubai Creek Harbour, we see major differences in the infrastructure because, for example, Emaar learned from the old mistakes and they made it better in the new communities. So the new communities are giving much more ease to live in, and the infrastructure in general is just smarter.
When you have a unit which is branded or like which is art integrated, does it age the same way as a normal building?
So this really depends from developer to a developer and how well maintained it is. Most of our investors know that most of the developers in Dubai are very new, so they don't have so many buildings which are existing for a longer time period. If we look for the older developers like Emaar or Damak, we can already see that after 12 years, they renew the pools, they do this maintenance, and on long term, those buildings are going to have a very, very well maintained surroundings. When we see the brand new buildings which are handed over from newer developers, we are not yet sure how those will be managed in the next couple of years.
In your point of view, does a building which has a branded style or an artistic style, does it help the owners sell faster in the secondary market?
Yeah, this fully depends on the investor itself, because, for example, if it's a specific brand, like a artistic brand or designer brand, then it depends how much the investor is willing to pay for it because he falls in love with the unit. When it comes to general resale, from my perspective, the easiest to sell is like very normal properties, which are normal for people to move in, and which we call kind of standard properties. And one more reason for it is that usually branded buildings have much more service charges. And when it comes to resale, that's one point where investors look at.
If two buildings are side by side, but one has a unique resort style amenities, like some specialized beach club or something, and the other has just normal amenities, how much of a premium can that owner demand when they decide to exit?
Yeah, of course. If there is one building with not as attractive amenities and we compare it to a building with lots of very attractive amenities, then the building with a more attractive amenities are always more attractive. Because everyone knows that it's easier to rent out, and at the end it's easier to sell. But the end, of course, it always comes back to the entry point. So for example, if the property with not good amenities was just so much cheaper in comparison to the property with the good amenities, then it might be that the investors of the building with less good amenities making a much higher margin in comparison to the property with high amenities just due to the entry price.
Is it better for an investor to buy in a community owned entirely by one developer, or a community where different developers are competing?
So when it comes to the community with different developers, then of course we build something like an urban community, because every developer is bringing their own style. We always see it very clearly in Business Bay. When you walk around Business Bay, it's full of different colors, full of different developers, and it gives you a very urban feeling. In comparison, for example, when we go to Dubai Creek Harbour, which is fully developed by Emaar, then we already feel that everything looks kind of similar. But at the end, when we break it down, it really depends who is the constructor of the building itself. So even in a community where the developer is the same, the properties can vary a lot due to the constructor and to the basic features inside the buildings. So what I want to say is that there's not so much difference between a community which is built by one developer or when it comes to a fully mixed development by different developers. From my perspective, the main difference is when there is a mixed developer master plan, then it gives you a very nice urban feeling and you feel the different properties rising, and it creates a different kind of market. So because those towers are not really comparable, because it's all different developers and it's all fully different kind of structured buildings.
I heard you state the example of Business Bay as an example of a community where there is different developers. If I ask you, for example, about Dubai Maritime City, it's the same concept, several developers in one master community. Do you think having those different phases and different style are going to create more demand, or is it going to hurt the demand?
Very interesting that you speak about a maritime city, because maritime city is something very specific. We are very close to the main docks, which always gives me a feeling of being in Hamburg at the Harbour. So Maritime City is one of the last spots in Dubai, which is very close to the sea, and we have a mixed development island. So we see the different developer coming there. So for example, we have Omniat, we have Damak, we have Select Group, and all of those developers building different kind of buildings and preparing this area to be one brand new master community in Dubai. I think it's going to be beneficial because there are also some more affordable developer, which means a good mixed kind of group can go there, can invest there, which should keep the area very stable once fully developed.
If you were looking for a project right now that combines waterfront access, high art branding, and good payment plan, which specific corridor of Dubai would you be looking at?
So we have a lot of different options here when it comes to seafront and beachfront. So we have different buildings, we have different areas. We have opportunities from purely off-plan to ready properties and also off-plan resale. Right now in this market, from my perspective, off-plan resale is the best what you can do. And let me just think about the inventory, what we are having, which is matching this. There's one unit, which is right now, for example, under construction. It's a 1-bedroom fully facing the seafront. And it's available for sale, I think 40th floor, looking to the sea. I think that would be one of my favorites right now. That was a very nice interview. I like this question a lot. And if you would like to know more, get in touch.